disciplines such as economics, political science, psychology, people work, and sociology, and to critically examine how globalization can manage to advance Nigerian citizens development. To explore opportunities to integrate economic into global market in ways that benefit our people, secure our future, and encourage sustainable growth and development. At the same time, we must not overlook the challenges, equality, independence, and vulnerabilities that education can anticipate, especially for nations like ours. I'm confident that the perspectives will come from diverse skills and experiences. We will eliminate both the backwards and the pitfalls of globalization. Together, let us foster a deeper understanding of the forces at play and strengthen our commitment to guide Nigeria towards the prosperous, equitable, and future in the globalized world. It's a hope that through sharing insights and broad discussions, we can achieve our understanding of globalization's multifaceted impacts and explore paths towards more inclusive and sustainable sustainable development. I'd like to express my deep appreciation to our Vice Chancellor and his team for immensely supporting us and for providing us with a continual atmosphere. The same thanks also go to our chairman of the petition, keynote speaker, legal representatives, panelists, all those who have traveled from far and near to be part of this gathering. And the organizers of this event for gathering some minds together to share this intellectual discourse. On behalf of our faculty, thank you all for being here. I want to welcome you to this exciting journey. Thank you for this. Thank you for your esteemed presence and participation, engaging discussions, insightful debates, and collecting wisdom that we mentioned from our shared endeavors. Welcome once again, and may this conference inspire and inform us all. Thank you very much. Thank you. The name of the faculty is fascinating for me. The service, the exhibition is practical to private, so it's a message. And of outdoors, more Professor John Abbott, Mr. Chancellor for years. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank all protocol for already established. I would like to greet if you really greet here with my Vice Chancellor first, the Vice Chancellor of the my brother, head of the Germany, who has always responded to our call. He was here yesterday on our conference. The chairman of the conference, the day, head of the department, all that remains. As far back as 1917, my grandfather, Alvo Terry, Caribbean Rosa, went to Scotland to buy things and bring them there to sell with a foreign international trade. Back then, that actually gave me a good part, give me a good part of 6 months. Today, if I'm on a private jet, I'll probably leave in the morning to Scotland and come back in the evening. Globalization has affected everyone. How, mobile phones we use, the apps, every other thing is driven by globalization. But the important thing to remember is two major forces driven this trend we call globalization. They are developed in transportation and advancement in telecommunication. These two things have been pivotal in driving vision. It's good. It's good. We're able to continue a connection. There's nothing in any part of the world that is in Nigeria. If paper is made in Britain, you can expect that in 4 weeks, you will be able to find it in Nigeria. We are also on our own right exporting certain trends. I committee not to mention those trends. But today, for us to talk about this globalization, very interesting. I'd like to challenge my brother, the economy. Including here, I was talking with my wife, and she said, I hear economists are going to be talking. I said, yeah. And she said, somebody told me that economists are people who know the price of everything, but they don't know the value of everything. I said, where did you from? She said, I'm giving you the message from her. Don't say I didn't deliver the message. But it is for you to prove her wrong today that you do know some of the value of things, but you know the intrinsic value of things. Our living value. We have a custom, culture, we are from various cultures, and we treasure them. So we sacrifice them on the altar of religion. This and some of the things we're going to discuss. I am not an economist, I'm not presenting it today. Just for me to say that it is my pleasure and I'm happy to welcome everyone who has come here today, from the newspaper presenter to the vice chancellor to the head of survey. You've learned things, important things that you would have done today to be with us. We are happy to say welcome to you. Welcome to Rivers State University, the Center of Excellence and Creativity. We are hoping that the next conference of this great faculty will be held in MOA campus. I think they're great. I'd like to meet you all the best. I may not let everyone there present. Thank you, Pedro. Now, please celebrate with me. We have the right to play the next one to be in the MOA campus. Thank you, if I want to invite the father of the university, our chancellor, and to come and give it to happen. The head of staff, University, Dr. George Weke. It's my pleasure to have you here because I am going to understand you were here for another conference yesterday. It shows that you call this place home. If not, by what I know, you will have not had the time to be with us 2 days in the road. You are welcome, sir. The Vice Chancellor, the acting Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor K. Omochukwu, the head of campus, MOA, Professor Hamilton, the chairman of this occasion, Professor and former dean, Professor D.B. Okoro, the dean, postgraduate school, Federal University of Tokyo, and chairman IFC, Professor Benjamin Otawa, the rector, the former rector, pioneer, and now former rector of the Polytechnic. By the way, there's nearly nobody I have named already that is not my friend. So when I realized I'll be calling everybody my friend, I decided not to say so. Because the acting vice chancellor in the I have known him for more than 40 years. He's a friend. The rector is a friend. Many other persons on the right. the Vice Chancellor, Ignatius Ajuru, the former rector who were doing social sciences university about the same time. So you see what I mean. Okay. So the rector, the former rector, Dr. Kalabo, the dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Onyema. Other deans here present, particularly the Dean of Humanities, Professor John Alali Jaja. I am emphasizing this name because we and I have accreditation this morning. Our guests are almost in Portugal, and once they appear here, I will take permission from the rest of the members of the ICANN to go and because that is one duty in which if I succeed, I am recognized, and if I fail, I may be flawed. So, they are almost there. They are coming in from you. There was another thing next to you. They are done. Heads of departments, they are present, particularly my elder brother, Professor Igwe, HOD Political Science. And all other HODs, I can see all of you. They are present. The chairman, Dr. Davis, I welcome you. Fellow lecturers, professors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Vice Chancellor of our great university, Professor Lerum F. Okomole, really wanted to be here this morning, and that was why, between when I arrived here and when he told me to come here, it was just a few minutes. It was at the best 10 minutes. And during that period, I received more than 4 calls from the MC, from the head of campus, of the dean, and many others that come immediately. But when I arrived, I discovered why they were that apprehensive. It is because of the heavy weight. Some of whom are already on the high table, who were already on and who don't have so much time. We welcome all of you. We welcome all of you to this university. The Vice Chancellor of our University, Professor Okomole, is attending or is holding a meeting with the council members. And many people on the high table are erudite professionals and serious university administrators. They know that is one set of people they cannot be ignored. He didn't travel, he is on field for attending the council. That is not really this one. To the best of my knowledge, is the first time is holding a conference of this matter. Particularly, they included on the theme of the conference so that people who come in later will appreciate when some of the about the faculty of That's very good. Why was it that there should be a in this and even it could be because there was no instrument that will apply. It is university, but they were listed by the law establishing the university. So in 2017, when that was amended by River State government in the state government. They changed from being a university of technology to become a conventional university. That was what gave the way for begin to have faculties that are not entirely technological in nature, like social sciences. The university will be moving because faculties that in addition to that, we now have a report medical sciences college. We will have faculty and two programs. I don't want to transfer that. I think the number of programs in this university has about doubled in the last since last position. And one of the beneficiaries is the sciences faculty. Social sciences is not new to me as a person. I get this in my creative years, in my formative years. When I was first admitted into the University of Oxford, it wasn't even the faculty, it was a school of social science. And the implication was that I took one or two courses in theology, one or two in politics, and one or two in economics. That is why if I have the chance to speak with people in those disciplines, I speak to somebody who is loved and not a stranger. So in my first year that it was meant the faculty and we now have to go back to our various departments. In my own case, it was good. So social science is one discipline you cannot wish away. And it's important and easily be demonstrated. You don't need to be an expert like me to speak it. We go to school, especially at a shared level, to solve the problem of our society. Those problems could be technological, they could be engineering, they could be management issues, they could be moral, ethical, or philosophical issues. Where was the social sciences from? Look at Nigeria's problem. You can summarize Nigeria's problem into two words. One, ignorance. Two, insecurity. And what faculty in this university, out of 15 faculty, can delve into this matter thoroughly and be what they do? It is the social sciences in terms of economics. It is the sociology in terms of conflict, and so on. So, in a sense, I stand here today to say that you coming to showcase your understanding of Nigeria's challenges in the context of globalization is a very large opportunity for this university and the entire world to see how we can go into these challenges that plague the country and hopefully get out of it in one piece. Therefore, I welcome all of you, both those who came from outside and those who are here with us. But I have noticed that there are very few, if any, students in this hall. I know many of the lecturers in this faculty, and I can see that majority of them are there. Most I have seen very few students are there. In my faculty, when we do something like this, we made it compulsory for our graduate students at least. Maybe it was an oversight, because I know you have large population of students in social sciences. And if they were there, this number of the lost subjects. I want to, on this note, welcome all of you once again, and wish you fruitful deliberation, because whether you like it or not, the challenge of getting Nigeria out of, let me use one word for the economics teacher normally is this one mind to find ourselves lies in their hands. So on this note, I declare the conference. Thank you. Thank you. This picture has been for it's now my pleasure to respectfully invite the head of service of our state, Dr. George Brinkley, for the lead in her presentation one. Mr. Chancellor, for okay, sorry about that. Just following on the program was in the order the keynotes, it was perfect. So let me invite for the keynote presentation the acting vice chancellor, the graduate University of Education.
So can we share screen? So I'm going to share screen on Zoom.
Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to thank your writers for supporting the consensus in this. As a writer of our duty, number one, to provide academic leadership, two, to provide leadership. And what he has done to be part of your academic class. And that we have been doing as the conference is doing. And before we are writing because that is my point. So I want to thank you very much. I will not go into sovereign issues and what we're going to discuss today. My discussion will be mainly the 4 major parts. Then the few facts will be concluding. First part will be visualizing the process, globalization, some theories of it, which I'm going to mention because I know some of the people have got, those theories. We also look at, some of the activities and strategies of look at the role, globalization of the economic development and growth. In Nigeria's case, how we are fed, over the period, by interacting with the rest of the world, and then concluding on the correlations. So, looking at, globalization, I define globalization as a way of relationship between the economies of the world by way of international and universities. Then some people are also defining the situation of governments, cultural, financial markets to international activities. I also have another dimension that is an increasing competitiveness of world economies as a result of growing scale of cross-border trade. Labor as well as the working trade of technology. That is more important. Then the last one I say here is that, growing of the world economic culture and population, brought about by so the municipality, there is no one way that can develop further. There is 65% between the pocket of the world. What you cannot produce is getting. So that has given you national grid and at the global level, probably. Then let's go. There are some few. I'm going to just question. We might not go into detail because of time. You know, fields of electricity, economic liberalization is what the one is the market approach to political reality. The modern, you know, theory, modern theory of growth. And it's not their own. You know, economic liberalization, we're talking to you know, the economy, you know, for free, you know, free. It is liberalization both in the capital market, both in commodity market, and even respect, you know, of you know, the economy. And you see that kind of opening, which we are going to discuss later, the way it affects us, you know, after the war, you know, later. Then the maximum approach where market always value that globalization helps in exporting capitalism. Then the fifth, you know, approach we're talking about the signature of the argument of justice, you know, against women. The women are always saying that they are by the war dominated by men. Then the political reality, you know, political reality is international, you know. Then people also talk about food, you know, modernity, where globalization is taught as the progress after, you know, modernity. All these theories, I know that, you know, some of them are before your book with what time. Then the history of globalization is with time. But the modern era of globalization began in earnest in early 19th century. The Industrial Revolution through advancement in transportation. That's good. I'm sure that some of you have done economic things. Whether it's political science, economic sociology, and thinking of this, you know, globalization. And we are studying the role of the states in, you know, the authority. We know that one major rule is transportation, you know, provision of rail. Then, telecommunication, that allow increased economic interaction for people, you know, what. So here, you know, we're beginning to talk about hard transportation, and then, you know, information technology help the movement of goods. Then there are globalization. Even more important like this. There is economic globalization. There is social globalization. There is cultural globalization. Speaking now, means some part of the world, you know, because of cultural globalization. Then there is food globalization. Food war will put excitement of this. I think that for all will put itself and you know, this is what kind of globalization. For example, you know, globalization. You know, there have been a lot of science really beautiful moving forward. All is there towards, you know, maintaining, you know, clean environment, you know, for and that is all global. Then we have technology globalization, which is incredible. Technology across the world, innovation, IT, biotechnology, engineering, then AI. You know, which is the big now. Maybe like conferences are full. We try to bring it AI because that's where the world is going now. I think that it's a lot of full. But although there are so many disadvantages of AI, it also makes for laziness. A situation where the student project can be anything, no data, speak anything, it will give you the answer. Because the last time it's conducted, in this equipment, where would you put there? We discovered that so many people use in other equipment, that we use. So this has its own, advantage and disadvantage. So after, encouraging new era of technology was also the necessary so that also the root completely ourselves. Because we know that if you copy without making proper evidence, you will be realized that is an object. So what is the problem of, AI is the moderation of why we like. There was some advantage, and to that one, globalization paradox, see that because my not today, in particular, after that, so we are what to believe like nothing. So not me of things that are very great. Yeah, but the connection between it and four across the class. So the thing, geography, from things of the world, then there are not another group. That is really really so what I've been approved, to do advances and so on and so forth. And I'm looking at the impact of that on our own economy. I want you to get to that because that is the main thing, issue that we need to just talk about. Cons of globalization, the advantages. We'll talk about support. Increased choice, because when you open the market, so many other commodity comes, so you have variety of commodities to choose from. Then we have and you're opening up to them. They now begin to, take part of, your governance to dictate to you what to do. So globalization also, increase most of the, less developed economic growth in the world. Number one, the least access to the world market. The market of finance, market of commodity, labor, and technology is open, to everybody. Reduces trade barrier. Globalization reduces, trade barrier. Like now, you can stay here, use your telephone and order something, and it's delivered. Even within the domestic economy, you can also stay here and order something from Lagos and deliver, and you're paying expensive. It removes, barrier to to trade. It enables countries to participate more actively in the use of technology, which is increases the international movement of goods and services. Then, and foreign direct, for the foreign investment to buy shares, from the stock exchange. People outside can buy shares from Nigerian stock exchange, by investing on that put. Then there's also direct foreign investment, where the company abroad comes in, move into a particular recipient country, to invest and put their structure and operate from there. We know that these are known as multinational corporations. Because of maybe insecurity and lack of power. Typical example is recent energy and sold, to Orlando, and so many other companies, from outside operating in Nigeria are running away. Mechanic ran from Port Harcourt, long is known to them, but when some of us inquire curiously, we say it is lack of power or what. So you see that most of these companies are moving away from, us here. Then increased value chain and job creation. Most of these companies moving in, definitely they are going to create more value chain. So these are some of the roles they can, globalization can economic growth. So let's look at the Nigerian situation. What we have benefited, or the way we start using some indices. I want you to pay attention. I think I'm going to take them one by one. If you look at, here I see globalization and some economic indicators. And first of all, I look at some of the variables we use in measuring globalization here. The first one is trade openness. And trade openness is the extent to which a country engages in global trading system. Measure the extent which you do. So which means that your import and what? Export. So here, we saw the import and export and discount it with the GDP, convert it to percentage by multiplying it, by 100. So if you look at that first column, you will see our degree of involvement in international, trading engagement. If you look at the 7th, I just put them and 10 years period so that we waste time. Look at the first year, they are 1970, trade openness 19.2%, and coming to 1980, trade openness increased. The increase in the openness doesn't mean that your export has increased. It could be that your import is higher than your export because it is summation of the two. Two of them interact to economic. More does not mean that you're benefiting more from it. And does not better your camp of trade. So the percentage increased to 48.5% in 1980, and then went down to 30.92%. In 2000 and 2000, it rose to 49%, and then to 43.32%. So the thing is this, our involvement here fluctuates. It fluctuates. But the increase in it does not actually mean that we are doing much better. Because we know that Nigeria is an important union. Most of the things we can do, particularly by what we do, we bring them apart. Then look at the other interesting. How we have fared over the period. In 1970, our work was spent just $1 to get $1. In 1980, it became better. 55, kobo to $1. But the trend changed from 1980. And you know what? Why? Because we opened up the economic world through the structural adjustment program with the major component of the frontier foreign exchange markets created by Babangida regime. So, say you want to find the strength of your policy when you are not going to see anything. So that was the period we started having serious foreign exchange. Look at 2000 crying then. It went to 350 in 2020. As I tell you today, one sold for over one. There's so many factors that has led to this. It's not that what's engaging in relating with other countries. But you see, the foreign exchange against the naira continue to go, and it's there's not. You might go tomorrow, it will be 1.7. It might hit 2,000 by the end of the year. We know, if you notice before, when the year is coming to an end, you find out that, you know, foreign exchange actually goes down in terms of how much we spend to get one, dollar. Because of diaspora, remittance, people begin to send more money home during the holiday, and when they come, they provide more foreign exchange, and that, brings down the price. But this one, it has continued unaffected. Why? There are reasons. In spending dollar, spending another, when we have our legal tender, them in their houses and spend them till they're spending. And you know that when you demand storage, it's like goods. Once demand go beyond what have a price. So we must prepare some fixes. Particularly the heavyweights, politicians and heavyweights in to stop black in Nigeria. And there must be a great political will to stop that. Don't just bring in dollar anyhow to Nigeria. But these people are with the manner, they bring it to their houses and they put it. Well, factor we are not adding value. We are not adding value. I mean, in the 80s, our refineries were okay. We were cracking, crude oil, transform it into the various, and we sell. Why can't we go back to that level? The situation where we're importing petroleum. We're importing petroleum. How will you grow? So these are the major reasons why we have not done well, in giving this particular, indicator. Look at another indicator. FDI, foreign direct investment. In size, we can say that it increases over time. But that might not be true. If you look at the 6 billion of direct foreign investment in 2010, compare it with the value of 738.87 billion in 1980, you find out that that particular value of 1980 is greater, far greater than the 6 billion we have in 2000. This is because of inflation. Because of inflation and the value of naira itself. So and then you are better off, as in to 1980. So foreign direct investment, they've been running away. I just mentioned some of them. They've been running away. Shell has moved the greater part of this thing to some neighboring country like Angola. This point, 1970. It went up to 14, like 94 in 2000, and then came down to 5.50. That was after Obasanjo moved around to secure forgiveness of the debt. But after that, started doing fire. There was last in the last regime, and this regime is also adding to it. So you see, we keep going. The other one is interesting. Can also see that in the year 2000, first quarter alone, we're having over 40% borrowing. Then let's look at the key economic indicators. The key economic indicators. So leave the deal with it. I did not put the one, but no problem. There's no look at the inflation rate and maybe because we're just coming out for war period. Then in 1990, single digit. In 1990, it was better. Then in 2010, it got it again, 13.5%. Presently, that is in the second quarter, is above 34%, increasing of Nigeria. And that will continue for a long time if we don't do anything, to improve our production and to improve the way our currencies are being managed. So that is inflation rate. Then the other one is poverty rate. Poverty rate, as at today, is above 5%. It's worse in the Northeast. Carried out by the basic poverty line. You find that poverty in Nigeria is very high, over 50%. Meaning that over 50% of Nigerians living in the rural area. That is kind of situation of finance. How do we get out of this? But we are still relating with the rest of the world, even our trading. So within that globalization, Nigeria has been tagged as the poverty headquarters of the world. And if you go to the rural areas, so many people are thrown back, they want to eat. I don't know whether some of you are seeing the thing we are saying. If you open phone now, you see somebody sending you something and forwarding an account number. Just to making small money to survive. That is finance. And we must do something as a good reverse that. Then to measure the performance of the economy, it has not been very, very favorable. Look at the 2010, where we had 8 points. There were higher growth rate. We still have poverty, meaning that growth is not inclusive. It's not inclusive. Maybe as a result of the revision from oil and all that, that is what has boosted the economy. But the real growth is not there. Growth with poverty means that that growth is not what it was. So that is the kind of growth to finance. Employment rate. 2. You find out that Nigeria started doing what you in computing our unemployment rate. In short, when I look at the statistical let's say online, I saw that they have changed, the rates to reflect the current basket they used in computing 2023 and 2022. In short, unemployment rate used to be as high as 33%. But you can't believe it that now unemployment rate is about 5.3%. How did it happen? The assumption is that, look, the assumption that NBS took is that if somebody is employed for 1 hour in a week, it means that that person is employed. You can imagine. If you're employed for 1 hour in a week, it means that they're employed. To me, that person is pure and applied unemployment. So if I carry block, have opportunity to carry block in a construction, sites for just 1 hour, and they pay me money, you say I'm employed. Huh? No, that's not that. Are you employed? That is the basket they use in computing to bring down the rate of unemployment in Nigeria. So that when you look at the statistics, you think that we are doing very well. We are not doing well. The rate of unemployment continues, particularly youth unemployment. Is hidden. So NBS cannot, deceive. Beyond that, let's look at, some of the things we concluded from this paper. So from your judgment, is that why we are relating with the rest of the world, the benefit, because we are not strong as a producing nation, rather we are a consuming nation. So I say here, the paper concludes that while globalization impacts positively on the economy through increase in access to markets, reduction of trade barrier, increase in the use of technology, blah, 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 and so on, it also impacts negatively on exploitation of labor and other resources, environmental degradation, corrupt, inequalities, and imbalanced, trade. Globalization, fine, do some good work. It also do some hard work, particularly when you're not strong enough to compete, with the rest of the world. So there's no way we can finish without making some recommendations. Number 1 is that we must stimulate our productive sector. We must stimulate our productive sector. We are not producing. Not that there is no production. There is. We're only relying on what? The primary, product, which is crude oil and sell. We must add value. We must refine that crude oil. If we refine the crude oil, what will happen? We will satisfy domestic consumption, and the excess we can sell to the Republic of Benin. We can sell to Togo. We can sell to Cote d'Ivoire and in foreign exchange. Instead of spending foreign exchange. Even when we have a local refinery now owned by an individual, Dangote, that we have been told that that refinery is very big.
Those things. Why you say that? Dangote has taken off. And we are still buying
food at that high. Initially, we were told that Dangote should not supply directly to Nigerian people. To sell through NMBC in middle. So there is something behind NMBC. That's why in governance, you must detach yourself from business. Those of us who are in public office, there are certain things they tell us. You have to detach yourself, from business, particularly as it relates to what you're doing. If you don't do that, you will create problems. You want to give yourself advantage. So the issue here is that why will Dangote sell to NMBC? Later on, it was also agreed that the association, that is, they call them HIPMAS, yes, HIPMAN, met with Dangote and they've agreed they will supply and buy directly and sell to the Nigerian public. What is still making the price not go? At the time, we are told that the amount of crude available is not enough to pay for the debt. You know that the last administration, they borrowed ahead using crude oil as collateral. If you don't understand now. So that as we produce, we take part of it to pay for the debt and service it. What is remaining? The OICs will take their own because of JV agreement. What will be left to support the Naira will be enough. So they say there is no crude enough to give to Dangote. And I said in one of the forums, I said, it's not crude. Let's give one oil well to Dangote to and then pay 50 there. Nobody can do that. Team drill and supply. Just make sure you monitor the quantity is drilling and supplying is coming. Because if Dangote is allowed to drill, he will drill and supply and have to notify, is it not? But all those ones are not things that we're looking at. What we're looking at is profit maximization. And Nigerians are dying. Poverty is increasing. Those of you that use public transport, you can imagine what it is. Even those that use their own private transport, you can imagine what it is to buy food. So that is where we find ourselves. And then our brothers say, I don't fail to say it. We are doing something. Me and our couple of brothers in the creek, do more fire to supply the cell. We use it to run our generator, it works. They give us PMS. We use it to drive our car, it works. But the only problem is that they were causing negative externality in terms of switch. And that their products were not properly refined. So what do we do in that case? We throw away that technological thing. What we should do is to bring experts to look at what they have done and look at how to improve on it. If you move from Benin to Calabar, you'll see so many universities offering petroleum, chemical, engineering, living. Can't we put our people together to go and look at what these boys are doing? So that when you do that, you can put them in cooperative to own those refineries. Since the refineries is theirs, they will secure it. They will produce and supply the basic market. They will earn income and better their welfare. And militancy will be formed. What do you want to listen to that? Illegal refineries, go destroy it, throw it cycle. That is the kind of thing we have to say in this country. So, in the mainstay of Nigerian economy, which is the oil industry, the only way we can move forward is to add value in that industry. Then we must diversify our exports, not only depending on crude oil. We have agriculture, very arable land in Nigeria, but people are neglecting it. And because of what politics is doing, even the young boys are not ready to farm again. I know that in my community, there's a particular age you get to in your age grade. When they are sharing the farmland for the next farming season, they give to you. But as you give to them, they prefer to sell that farmland instead of cultivating it. Because of what politics have brought. Bring them money and buy them. So what they just do is, they wait in the village as you come. Master, chairman, my baby is sick, my wife is sick, honorable. My father just died, want to bed. Is that the way we go? We cannot. So we must change the orientation and ensure that people go into production. Let me tell you, I did a small farming. Across the bridge towards my place, I have close to about 100 plus of land, some through inheritance, some I bought, and I decided to plant cassava in them. And after growing cassava in them, it got matured. My wife said she was going to sell them partner. I said, no, we have to do what? Add value to it. We must process it. And we started. the procession, locally, initially bringing it in. And the time the thing grew, I bought two carrying grading machines, and they go and pay people to build, maybe for 3 days to maintain that equity garage status. At the end of the 3 days, so many women will come from Alo. So my company, University of the Park, and they find the garage, traditionally, and people were making demands. Now we don't even, we can't afford, the level of demand now. From presidential from here. So we can do something. We must change this orientation by ensuring that we go into production. And not only that we do that, we're going to, then the security architecture must improve for our people to produce, for our people to go to production. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.
Thank you, our keynote presenter, Professor Chuku, and Chancellor Agro University of Education. Please appreciate him again. Let me now invite Head of Service of Agri States, Dr. George C. Mweke, for the lead paper station 1. Please put your hands together for our lead paper presenter 1.
The Vice Chancellor of this great university, who was represented, but whose spirit still on the other. The Chairman of the Association, my brother, Professor Hamilton, my brother, the Dean, Social Sciences, my very big organ, the man who had just come to summarize. We have all come here, we are just coming here now to put a vote of confidence on what he has done. Prof has already said everything, the keynote address. Prof, thank you very much. I'm a very distinguished professor from Niger Delta University, the Dean, the faculty of the postgraduate faculty. A brother, the former rector of Rivers State Polytechnic. Very distinguished professors and men of great learning here present, students, every person, both those here and others that are here in spirit. I want to say good afternoon to everyone here. The topic is one that actually is very important for no other person. For all Nigerians, this is a topic that we need to really pay more attention to beyond rhetorics. To me, I know that this university has been so great. Many years back, when I was here, I threw a joke. I said it was a senior polytechnic because some of the important courses that people say they are highly educated, we are not here. No social sciences, no humanity. To God be the glory that today we are enjoying a full-grown university. I say to God all the glory. To my friends like Professor Hamid, me as an accountant, I have not migrated out of accountancy to the world of social sciences. So this is actually my faculty, the social sciences. And the topic is very important to us, and I don't want to the way that is normally in the literature. I'm going to bring other perspectives here, like someone who has been in government for a very long time. When I left here, I joined government. And I'm talking about this topic, globalization. The definitions, you can even find one for yourself. But all I want us to is what's actually globalization. If you go to Moyatrain now, and you have to speak to someone in the market, or you go to the gardener, what will you tell him globalization is? What is it? One of the ways of defining something is by explaining what it is and what it is not, or saying how it looks. I want to say that globalization is like we have a farm, we have, or maybe those of us from riverine areas, we open, whoever likes you come, if you have this own place and fish, have the capacity of cut their own place to. So the people who don't have boats and you are somewhere in Bogoma, how do you go to Bonny to fish? It means you have only opened the way for people to come Bonny or from Cross River State who have bigger boats, who are more focused to come to their place and harness the resources that you have. So globalization is like we have opened the doors. We have invited every person to play. Those that are weak, the osmotic process, which process where stronger solutions draw the weaker ones, will take place. And that means they will lose, they will have the negative impacts. And listen very carefully to Prof. And I saw what we call the benefits of globalization may just be mere marriage now this year. Globalization has probably given people false identity, made them exposed to better commodities. I felt that we could have been existing, progressing at a pace if we were in a closed environment. People still knew how to do what people before we started having this improved dog and boats. Our people were good in making their own boats. We are there not. But now you find that we have better ones, which they cannot compete with that technology, and most times they have left what they can do. And you find that we have been relegated to a situation where we only open our mouth and continue to consume. This is the general picture I want us to create. Right there in my village, a type of food, we were cultivating them, we are not buying them. But the negative impact of globalization have now made us unable to fit into those type of jobs. So what we find now, we are unemployed, but we must eat. Then we must also depend on people who have what it takes to produce more. So globalization is like a global world, like the world is global world. And then it has advantages and disadvantages. But I'm here today for us to just answer the key things about globalization. I want us to narrow down to Nigeria and see how have we fared? How have we fared? And when we look at that, we'll be able to see if there are some things we could do to move out of that. Well, I have attempted to be a bit academic, but you can forgive me, I've not been academic for a long time, but I've tried to do something like an abstract, very brief abstract. I say globalization has transformed the world, an interconnected community, presenting opportunities and challenges for social development. Nigeria, that prior to be Africa's largest economy, faces unique challenges in harnessing globalization's benefits. This paper examines prospects, opportunities, and challenges of globalization for Nigeria's socio-economic development. Globalization is a multifaceted phenomenon. It has to shape the world economy. Nigeria, with its vast natural resources and large market, is integral to globalization. I want to even refute what I'm saying here. We say Nigeria, with its vast natural resources. What are our natural resources and what are we doing with them? It's just like you have one of natural resources, you have land, and naturally you are growing plantain, you are growing cassava. You suddenly now say people should come and cultivate the land for you, plant the cassava, and also plant the plantain. Meanwhile, you don't know what the cassava stems cost. I mean, what it costs. They will tell you they bought it for 10 naira, they plant for you, they plant and they tell you everything about it. Maybe if people from your household are involved, they only involved maybe to come and watch. People were not in that field. It's what we have been doing in the oil industry. Even the oil that we produce, we do not drill the oil ourselves. We depend on other people to come and tell us the content, the quality, and up the oil for us. So we just sit down and whatever they tell us that they have mined out of them extracted is what we believe. And they now want their profits. Because by the agreement that they have with federal government, the profit is shared 60-40. I don't know if that's changed now. They own it 40. Then they determine it's after all the cost of production. So whatever they say is the cost, they will plan it and plan the profit they want to make into it. And at the end of the day, they serve us outright sum, which we now say we have natural resources. To me, we have natural resources, but we cannot brag that we have natural resources, but we don't know how to use that natural resources. We cannot add value to it. Therefore, we cannot actually say that we have any natural resources. I also listen to people talk about other industries. In Nigeria, we don't actually have other industries because the oil is so dominant and all they do are services that come out from the oil industry. Our economy is actually one that we don't have any production. And you can imagine what is actually this production. What happens in production? By my knowledge of accounting, when you are talking of the product manufacturing account, you talk about all the raw materials that you bring in. You talk about labor. You talk about other concomitant costs that come in, that you get a prime cost. It is this prime cost that accommodates all the people that are not employed, because they are the labor. The people that do all the transactions that manufacture, because the human factor, you pay them to provide the services that you now use to produce goods. In an economy where you are not producing, where you are now product to other people, what are you doing? What you're actually doing is that you have taken products, you paid money. You might, let me take simple figures. The oil maybe 100 naira, you now pay transport for it, carriage out was carried to somewhere outside Nigeria, maybe 15 naira. Then you pay a higher economic cost there because that means their minimum wage is higher. You pay it. Then you now, when you have established maybe from 100 naira, which you have cost of product over there now, the carriage, only the initial cost, you have 150 naira, you now pay transport for it back to this place. And when you're paying transport to it back to the pay another 50 naira, because 200 naira, I'm taking minimal figures. Then the man that is bringing it has some administrative and some financial that is going to incur to bring those products in. And now you take it inside here with another cost. Then he puts another cost on top of his profits. At the end of the day, something that should have ordinarily cost 120 naira will not cost 300 naira. So, for those that believe in that theory of oil resources cost, this is where our whole problem starts, because we cannot actually produce in here. We don't even know what we are supposed to do and whatever. Therefore, when I hear anyone saying that we have natural resources, is it a positive or negative in this instance? Literature review, globalization's impact on socio-economic development is debated among scholars. Stiglitz, 2002, argues that globalization can exacerbate inequality, while Bawati, 2004, contends that it promotes economic growth. Nigeria's experience with globalization is complex, with benefits in trade and investment, but challenges in cultural homogenization and environmental degradation. Prospects of globalization in Nigeria. There are many prospects, even though they are looking like mere theoretical prospects now. Economic growth through trade and investments. Yes, as has been shown in here, economic, we can say in gross figures, but when we convert them to a particular base, maybe taking 1970, when or 1980, when the value of the naira was so high, what is actually a growth may not be, if there's a growth, may not be that magnitude that we are thinking. Improved infrastructure development, increased access to education and healthcare, enhanced global competitiveness, cultural exchange, and diversity. The opportunities are there for globalization, and these include diversification of the economy through oil sectors, development of human capital, increased foreign direct investment. Prof has also said this, and I'll also say it again. Yes, increase foreign direct investment, but always interrogate any figure you see there to know whether it's actually increased or not. And what are those direct investments on? Is it still on this oil that we are saying is causing a problem for us? Are there any other sectors that are actually making direct investments? Or is it like we have this pollution here? And I know that there was a time that this institute was providing services about pollution to oil industries. Is it now that a foreign company comes to do that type of business and stifle the little one we are doing here? We must know the quality of foreign investment. If there's one that are injurious to our local economy or to our local experts, then we should be able to single them out and make them to be injurious and injurious capacity, not things that are helping us. So I have seen foreign direct investment, but it depends on what it is going on. I think government should be able to regulate or to help direct where the investors should assist, not everywhere where they're not going to be injurious to us. Now, what are the instruments, what are the things they use to create this globalization? There are some economic instruments. These include WTO. Foreign direct investment is one of the tools, because we're talking of what are the things that make the world to be one common place now. International trade agreements, foreign direct investment, portfolio investment like bonds, multinational companies, global value chains, and what have you. We have other instruments like technological instruments, like ICT, internet and social services, our phone, cloud computing, or cloud, artificial intelligence, robots, blockchain and cryptocurrency, and satellites, and all those things that make communication easy. Everything about globalization, not everything, most things about globalization are from communication and from technology, other technologies. You find that you are able to communicate faster. Go to London today and come back today. Depends on, they are bringing us together, but the problem is that time that you are reducing, moving faster. You are moving faster to do what? Is it to spend the little one we have, or is it the actual benefit that's coming in? So when we just speak generally, that has helped communication, how? Or when we talk about the internet facility and whatever, what is up again? It's the economic value that we get as a nation. These are the things I want to think upstairs as we're thinking about it. Social infrastructure and what have you. Some key gadgets that aid globalization include smartphones, computers, internet, social media, Facebook and all of them, video conferencing and what have you. These are the gadgets that help. In transport, you have airplanes, ship, container trucks, railways, GP tracking and what have you. We have financial tools too. Online banking systems makes it simpler. Remember before, when you go to the bank, you have to queue up, with your passbook, you forget your passbook, sorry. But now you can, as we are here, many people have made payments here. It wasn't so before. But now, yes, it's helping us. But when it's helping, it's also helping us to also get anything and what have you. Now, introduce us to some arguments which we have been hearing. The argument that globalization has been injurious to Nigeria and other developing nations. We are weak, we cannot compete. And we are told that you are in a free world. You are told of the newest technologies that have come up, the newer tests that have come up, and you have to consume them. We are told those are the advantages. But it can't be injurious to our nation, and we want to take some arguments from. The crux of the argument here is that globalization, touted as a financial effect, which has proven detrimental to Nigeria and other nations. The unfettered flow of services and ideas across borders has exacerbated existing economic challenges on of these nations. And that unequal relationships, globalization on equal trade relationships between developed and developed. Nigeria and other developing countries are forced to open their markets to cheap, subsidized import, decimating local industries, in unemployment. Many of the things that we are doing are making our people not to do the one that have been doing. But the other one may not actually be better. Like we're talking about fast food. The foods we cook in our kitchen, the ones we cook from the backyard, are even better. But we are giving better, we are giving more flashy alternatives. So we now are people to drop the one they know. Some out of ignorance and what's happening. Exploitation of natural resources. Multinational companies exploit Nigeria and other developing nations' natural resources. They repatriate the profits to their place. Profits are not planted here. And if you will ask to come and plant the profits here, they now use it to destabilize our place. They now look for people who they will bribe. And when they bribe them, they help them to fight and stabilize us. We cannot have a time that have a consensus argument to argue for what we need. All the instability you see are planned. They are planned to make us not to have a time of focus. These are part of the problems of globalization. Cultural homogenization, brain drain, economic instability, inadequate corruption, environmental degradation, health, and what have you. There was sometime in the year 2003 or thereabouts, there was a gas leakage, somewhere they call it a guitar. And it blew glass. Gas went underground and blew open. And some people were in their kitchens trying to cook, and gas went under and spread everywhere. And they were asked to build houses. They were asked to do something to that community. They wrote that they had done everything. And I was able to sit online. When we called them for a meeting, I said, what have you done for the place? They said they will do, because I was in the environment. They didn't do anything for us. These are some of the issues that all are passing through. Globalization, but the benefits we're not seeing. Technology, now, because the countries now feel the effects. We can protect ourselves, not be part of the global world. Very difficult. We cannot operate without the people in the world. All we can do rather, something on ground to be able to protect ourselves from globalization. We can't shy away from it because we're already in a global world. So the way out of it is for us to have economic reforms. We have to diversify economy, to develop non-oil sectors like agriculture, manufacturing services. We have to invest in infrastructure. We have to promote foreign investment. We have to encourage entrepreneurship. We have to develop human capital development. We have to strengthen our institutions. We have to look inwards. Like the keynote presenter asked a total question, what are the people say in other yesterday? People in petroleum engineering and people that have been teaching about chemical engineering, what is their own model? What is their own model? What has presented the government that can offer? It is time now for universities themselves, other factors have to start looking inwards and know how to help the nation to develop models that can solve our own local problems here. Because in this globalized world, one of the things that I know that very global, we can compete with is education. What you are teaching here is what is taught in London, not everywhere. It's universal knowledge. Have you connected also now what you are doing to solve our own peculiar problems here? Or do these seminars and workshops and conferences end up as workshops? And they're not going to be tied to solving our contemporary problems? Education and human capital development, international cooperation. These are the things we need to do for us to be able to come out of the problem. And now come to the area I talk about some practical recommendations fit for our contemporary nation. Short-term recommendations that can take up from now to any time, between 3-4 years can achieve this. Establish innovation hubs. Government should create hubs in major cities to foster entrepreneurship and innovation, like here we are, the Niger Delta. Cities should not be so much interested in doing roads to people's backyard. They should start thinking about what will this place be, assuming oil stops now. Tomorrow that we fear so much. And I think that one of the things they need to do is government but another country, you have you see how if they and use the people in academia, it may help us. Industry academia partnerships. They have to collaborate with universities, industries to develop industry-specific training programs. Entrepreneurship training, every course this time should have entrepreneurship attached to it. Strengthen that university ability to solve them. And if you're able to solve a human problem, people will be willing to pay for that service. But people pay for services rendered or for their problems that they want to. Any cost that not that to solve the human problem is almost not a problem. So it is hard time that started thinking embark on into entrepreneurship skills. And how can you solve a problem for society? Digital infrastructure, every person should be digitally positive now. Do not sit and just write longhand and ask people to come and type for you. You should be able to, on your own, do some researches and on your own self. These are things that can be done. Policy reforms, a lot of policies being formed. Medium-term responsibilities. We have to develop special economic zones. We have to develop our infrastructure. Educational reform. Our education should be reformed. A lot of things that we are doing now, I know that when you look at the universities here, we are still operating, but I don't think that we have the same dream as even they had there before. I mentioned the things that I want to still mention today. Here in 1983, we are paid for the school farm. A lot of things, vegetable, flesh, eggs, chicken, many things came from the farm here. How come 40 years later, we are not able to sustain the farm and cannot feed from there? By that time, feeding was subsidized because we could get it from there. We don't have those things again. We have to do a lot of things at the university. Respect the university tomorrow. University should not only be reserved for the election time when they bring professors, come and state return officers. There's a purpose for which university is set up. And I know that that purpose is still being maintained. But when we come to workshops like this, I expect that at technical sessions, people should try as much as possible to wear your spectacles and look into society. Find out the problems that exist in the society. This is social sciences. A lot of problems we have can be solved with this faculty, from people from this faculty, by people from this faculty. Look at the problems. You don't continue making case study of China. Their own is different from our own. Start thinking locally here. I did say yesterday that the issue of case study, we should even stop patronizing it. We should start talking of real-time situations, how to solve problems that are existing now. Like those in conflict resolution, who have problems in amnesty, went to reports. Professor, some professors there was secretary of amnesty. They found out their knowledge practical. It's not going to say case study of what has happened before, which is not irrelevant, not actually important. They may have an important thing, but in the state we need real-time situations where you bring that knowledge to solve real-time situations. Universities and the business community will play a critical role if Nigeria must have the desired economic and socio-economic development. What will universities do? They should have research, they should improve on their research and innovation, they should develop solutions for local and global challenges. Human capital development, they should produce skilled graduates who will be employers of labor, not people will be looking for everywhere. They should give some entrepreneurial support. They should incubate startups and promote entrepreneurship. Intellectual collaboration, they should partner with foreign universities for knowledge sharing. International collaboration, partner with foreign universities. Curricular development, integrate global perspectives and best practices. Talent development, they should foster critical thinking, community engagement. They should collaborate to local community sustainable development. There was this place I was told at a soccer, that particular snake that was biting people. No one knows how to cure it. Only one man. When the man died, no person could. A lot of the things that we have here, even when we go outside, I see them in African shops. These are all that spices we have. They are not found in many other places. What are those who bring food stamps doing? No food stamps are here. You study of how to start growing those in commercial quantities. We still want to believe that nature, those things that we are not caught and see the cultivated the board. You better start putting all of them down. It is time for us now to know how to nurture those products, those plants, and continue to export the value. But the university has people in these areas have not been able to replicate anything. Even that is still snatching there. We've not been able to know how to culture them, but to teach us about how to grow plants. You are not, these strategies, you are not able to find them. I think the university should start looking inwards and start knowing what to do. The business community should also do something. They should stop being the problem. They have now run away after the problems they've caused. All the civilization, everything can be traced towards the business world, the oil companies did. They've run away. But I think that if we create the environment again, some genuine businessmen will still come back. And we should, as much as possible, know that they are businessmen. There is no free lunch in time. The moment we go there to chicken ourselves back, stay for things, carrying coffee, we put in front of, it's the time we are telling them that we're not ready for business. When they go away, we will be suffering and we will not be able to attract investors easily again. So when we see them again, we should be able to be very good hosts to them. I really want to, I want to start on because of, I want to start talking about Nigerian case. Nigerian case has been a big problem for us, which all of us, we don't actually need to read so much. From our little experiences, like the analysis that was given here by the keynote speaker, that as at when Jonathan was living, Naira was not up to $200 to $1. I don't think it was up to that. Was it? It was not 200. But 200 now is like almost like $10, almost maybe $11. So you find that or maybe $2 or $1.5. You don't have anything when you have 20 this our Naira. So we all know that because even the minimum wage you are talking about now, when you convert it to where we were at that time, you should be able to interpret for yourself whether it has increased or even reduced. But this is the reality on ground. So we need actually to take it serious. We should be able to look inwards and see how we can harness opportunities and retain the trend of this. For example, money is a commodity, like Prof alluded earlier. Money is a commodity. So when you're selling Naira here, when you're using Naira to buy this, people will buy it. And the simple laws of economics apply there. Because it is being demanded for, and the supply is limited, then to get it, the price more. And that is the Naira that is now the value is has to fall. That rise in price for the dollar means that you have to get more Naira. Therefore, the value of Naira will be inverse to that price. You should start looking inwards to see how we can locally, how can reverse the trend. And if we produce locally, be able to buy with our Naira. And they have the strong will score all those unpatriotic, like using Naira. Both countries and other developing to mitigate this risk, to protect, to put fair, encourage local industries, protect cultural heritage, invest in human capital, strengthen our economic governance, develop infrastructure, address corruption, prioritize environmental, enhance healthcare, and do many other things. There are a lot of recommendations. It will not purge us to still repeat those recommendations again. We have to review and renegotiate existing trade agreements. We have to review them. Many of them were not done at arm's length. They were not arm's length transactions. They were still done behind the doors. We have to review them. The people in National Assembly should rise up and query some of the agreements that we have. A situation where you borrow and use it to fit current governance cost is not good. That means you have the future for the services of today. To look at all the foreign have and renegotiate them. We have to implement policies to support local industries. We have to implement policies to support local industries. We have to establish cultural exchange programs. We have to invest in education. I was saying yesterday that NDTC is sponsoring people to overseas scholarships. It is good though, but it is not what we need now. Our universities have the right personnel to train those people. So we cannot take the money when the universities are being started. By so doing, we are passing a vote of no confidence on ourselves. So we need to also bring this place and let this place train our people. No person can train us better than we can train ourselves. Then we can focus on those right areas that we want. So it is priority spending money outside when the university has not been properly. We have to infrastructure. Prestige, all the prestige. ISR state. With what do we see? Doing fragmented things. Even supposed to be our common agency, it's not. Why? Where is the regional consciousness that we're supposed to have? There is need for it. We have to strengthen institutions of governance. In as much as has experienced a lot of issues, there has also been some gains that we have gotten from globalization. But all we want to say is for us to compete more favorably and for us to draw more from the benefits of globalization, we need to think inwards. We need to also look at our own issues, reprioritize our own agenda, and know how and what to do to improve our nation.
Let's put your hands again for the lead paper presenter one, the head of service, Dr. John Winkley. Thank you, sir, for the lecture. Let me now hand over to the chairman of the conference, Professor Dibio, to entertain a few questions.
Yeah, I want to thank the keynote speaker and the lead speaker at the same time. And I hope you're finding this exercise rewarding and gratifying. I think we have now come to the icing on the cake of conference reverberations. One thing we're taking home from this outing today is that we must actually think about self-seclusion, self-reliance without necessarily leading to self-seclusion. Because the synthesis of the recommendations is that we must think global and act local. So what we're going to do, because we're pressed for time, we're going to take just 4 questions, one from this row, one row, just like that, so we can actually illuminate discourses and accord perspectives to issues that have been raised. So that's basically what we're going to do. So question here, second question here, third question there, and the last question. Then we'll wrap up for this session. So we can take the second lead paper presentation. May I see hands up here, there? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2. Number 2, yes, 2. Please, let's make this segment lively by actually coming up with thought-provoking questions. We have 2. So we can take your first shot.
My name is Dr. Victor Akidi from the Department of Economics. I want to plead to stand on existing protocols, already established protocols. But my question is particularly for the head of service, Dr. George Winkley. And really, you have really mesmerized us with a lot of expositions. But here, in one of your statements, you talked about we sending our students for foreign scholarship through NDDC, and NDDC is doing a lot, and that makes our institutions play second fiddle, undermining our institutions' capacity to develop our human capacity development. I know as an economist, one key mechanism too in our system that enhances our learning is establishment of econometric lab for policy, modeling, interpretations, and suggestions. Here, I can speak to you that in Rivers State University here, economic department doesn't have econometric lab. Then how best can we compete favorably with other universities who have this system? Who have this system? So please, government, we need your intervention in establishing an econometric lab for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. C.D. Chukwu, standing on the existing protocol, sociology. I'm actually bothered about the level of poverty and hunger in the land in the midst of abundance. I know we are capable of feeding ourselves. Agriculture is not the rocket science technology, but we are still hungry. And I think Nigeria has the most fertile soil on earth. Anything that can grow anywhere in the world will grow somewhere in Nigeria, and yet we are hungry. My question straight is on how do we change the mindset of Nigerians? How do we change the mindset of Nigerians? We are still dependent on oil, economy, just like Professor Okechukwu pointed out. Every person that wants to make money, they want to do business, must do something related to oil company. Okay, and the former things have to land up. How do we change the mindset? For instance, somebody has 150 million naira. Instead of investing in agriculture, you want to establish filling station. And some of the filling stations will not be open to customers in 1 year. Sometimes they barely open for a year, but they invest the money in filling station instead of agriculture. How do we change our mindset? Thank you.
My name is Probel President, PhD student, University of Port Harcourt. And the question I want to ask is, how can we channel intellectual property to whip the government into action? Because our role models in the society now are warlords, militants. In our schools, I believe the Vice Chancellor has seen all the young boys are into Yahoo business. So how do we convert the intellectual property for a smart action? I mean, something that is specific, measurable, achievable, and time-bound. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Bigby Witt, I'm a sociologist. Given the socio-technical aspect of industry, and we are discussing globalization, how can Nigeria properly fit into the aspect of socio-technical to get our personnel and the work environment get the result we are looking for? I have them.
Good day all. My name is Wale, a PhD student in the University of Chicago. Play when the captain was I'm not fortunate. Most of the things he eliminated was bordering on both how he to Harry and yeah. We keep bringing out wonderful exist. Now, the contract employment, how employment will be still what did how do we reduce it?
The first one is a kind of a plea, particular head of service here, to aid Department of Economics to establish an economic lab, which is very, how do you pass a grade without economic lab? So, head of service, do something to help that again. Then the other aspect, we talked about poverty. Poverty. Get out of is only one person issue. All of us must, be ready to change our orientation. First of all, there must be a lot of advocacy to make people to begin to do something. You know that before this period, Nigerians do things by themselves. I recall that when I finished secondary school, as a young man in the village, we don't go to the village anyhow, but my parents, when I get that opportunity, I will follow my mates to the river, to catch fish. Early morning we wake up the river. My place is very close to the Calabar area, so we have river to Ibadan. We'll go and fish. And when we come back, the fish, the fishes were sold and people use them to register WAEC. I also know that young men, community there, go to cut bush for people to farm. They earn income and use them to register WAEC. There is not again. Not to talk about green, agriculture. So we continue to say it. The advocacy should be very high now. So that our people will begin to change their lifestyle. That criminality is there. We must do something to solve that problem of criminality, and also do something to change their perception that the only way to survive is to work. Because unearned income as an economy does not make any meaning. Just taxing money, it doesn't make any meaning. So we must continue to talk about it, then show some practical examples at our level, and do one or two things. There is nobody that came from heaven here. All of us are from places, and there are some traditional economic activities in our various places which we can engage in, no matter how small it is. Even at your back, where you stay in town, if you can farm and do some level of agriculture to fend for only your family, you do. When some people see some of these things, they will copy it. And then the society will begin to change gradually from this idea of begging and begging to situation where we can do something. There is no way everybody will get formal employment, whether we like it or not. I'm taking this together with employment. There is no way everybody will get formal employment. I also know that there are some Nigerians, even after graduating as engineers, go into something else, to make money. That is why we begin to emphasize entrepreneurship in our school, because creative thinking is the only thing that can enable you to turn around, where you are. That you are in a particular place, you notice that a particular commodity, that can easily be produced is not there. There is high demand for it. You have little money to start doing, that particular commodity. You see how you can transform yourself. So we must continue to talk about it. We must continue to show practice. We must continue to help, people who are already doing it. Let me give you an example. There was one guy that came to my office one day that he is from another space, that he wants to farm groundnuts. Now that day they want to farm groundnuts, doesn't have money to buy them and all. I gave him 100,000. The following year, this man came, a bag full of groundnuts to my house just to say thank you. So there are some little things people can do to earn money instead of just waiting, the big organ to return and tax. You're not even helping the man you're begging from because you're eroding his own income. His life is not properly planned. And at the end of the day, if he comes out from where he's earning income with that money, he will still abuse that person tomorrow. After all, waiting in to. So but they don't know that they are the ones that wreck you. So we must begin to tell them that this, trend is not good. All of us must engage ourselves in something new so that we can earn our living. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Kiki, I've heard you. That one is beyond you now. I think the university, before their next accreditation, they should be able to make their demands to government. They know what I'm going to do is if I'm where it is being discussed, even with that, I have started the job and I will tell them that I understand those. So when that matter comes, it will give me a very positive note. And know that my governor will want to do everything. It's an alumnus of fear, everything to make that all accreditation. Thank you very much. The song was talking about how to change the cycle for our people to do agriculture. It's a big work because there are two big problems we have here. There's a negative impact on River State, and that's negative impact of the oil industry in our state here. Every other state may not have, I want to say, at least I don't produce oil like us, but they don't suffer what we suffer. I have a big farm. I have a big farm that I intended to, the idea it should be big. I have pigs. I have chicken. I have, even I came here to hire tractor. I have cassava from a chain where they produce cassava. But do you know that we don't have any worker from my place? Are you hearing me? They don't want to work. Some we are working. But they told me that what they get every month by just being loyal to people is more than what we pay. So they resigned. But my wife does that job. She's as a skilled in the family. She read secretarial education letter, but to inject in all those things. We farm pigs. Many people here know of agriculture. I've gone there to hire because I'm taking the vet people to go and look at my pigs and do different. So I do agriculture, but we don't have people in River State. They won't do. So what they get for begging is more. For the people who want to work, we get from other parts of the state. I won't mention them. They charge us higher because of they think that everything is like oil industry. They charge us higher. We don't get cheap labor here, and that makes us we are not able to compete very well. When we were doing flood the last 2 years, our chairman, we couldn't get garri here because only the old people are farming. The young people are not there. So the old people farm as they are selling garri. We went to Delta State to buy garri. We went to Benue State to buy garri. For yam, our people don't farm yam again. It's only maybe they farm for their own consumption. We don't have anything again. So the negative impact of the industry and the negative impact of our type of politics are a problem. So what we need to do is national definitely, and maybe people here as they are teaching students, tell them the place of hard work. And if it's possible, even the money we share to people every month, it's not the right way to go. It's not the right way to go because it is not being invested in the real sector. It will not help. So that's our open situation. Do you know that maggots, that maggots, it's a very big thing. I have to go and pay someone from Ogun State to come and teach me how to do maggots. Maggots, I don't mean the one we eat to this other one, but I don't know that they eat this one. they eat it. It's not harmful. It doesn't smell when you are farming it. It doesn't smell. Do you know that we farmed it? We are using it to feed. Yes, we use it. We don't have the technology to convert it, because that's, you know, the feeds you have the contents. We don't have technology. I watch it internet and then can convert it actually to make it into pellets. We now use it raw after washing to pay. Many people from Bayelsa came and copied from me, and they use it to feed fish. We need to feed chicken. So when I call some of my friends, come and learn this one, they say they won't learn. Only one I managed to learn. That one includes my wife, the relation. After then, he got one contract at Bayelsa. They paid the one, they put me in a hotel, and it, about 3 weeks. And so there are some things that could be done. But you know, after that one, it's that kind of farmer got here and stopped that one. When that man came again, he said he can't do it again. And he said he will not do my job. So I'm telling you that our people, they think that it's easier to beg. They don't know that one is more the great thing. Hard work, only way. I don't know what to I don't know what to call it now. Okay, okay, basic food. So it's all about our psychology. Where I came from, there's no government money on my head. There's no money that they earn for salary for training. It's family, and it is honorable. That time in the chair, you don't beg anyone. If they dash you, take it. They will even tell you, I didn't come here to beg you. That's the negative side of them. But that's why they were not begging. But now it is the order of the day. I wish the psychology has that. That's why we're here. We'll start thinking of that, work on that one, and we know what to do. So it's the environment to find ourselves. I don't know how to do it. That is why when you find people learning these small works, and our people only want to work in government, it's a problem. When you go to Bonnie, they employ people even now. But we don't have the skills. It's easier for us to complain. When our people, we can cover it. They are businessmen. They are not asking that money. If you have a service to render, they must employ you. But when you are on a general service that you want to be watching, then you have to control the basic now. That when they shoot you, you're no longer a normal person. When you are, but if you have a skill, and you know how to work on engines, they will employ you. To talk to our people to move from argument mentality to where it is that these businesses must make their money. What can I offer to them? They don't dash money, but the services render to them. Now, someone was asking, I don't know about that intellectual, someone was talking about what socio-technical and mechanic, and the prof answered that one after. I don't know about that one. It's not my area. I'm in government. I don't know about that one. So now someone talking about using our intelligence positive. Someone that was saying it, say, how can we now apply super when it comes to Yahoo and everything? First of all, we must acknowledge that we are very good at it. When we are here studying auditing, when Papa was after teaching, there was a chorus. Teach us more fraud. Teach us more fraud. For you to be able to uncover fraud, you must know how fraud is committed. But our system here celebrates people who, in quote, have. It's that people no longer have. How many people have seen sponsoring quiz competition in their communities? But they will do football because they do football. And not say people are very good in sports. But I'm telling you that if we were doing well, some should have been sponsoring quiz competition, debating the sports before. Everything has left them. What they will do, if it's students' union, they want to build a bus stop. I said, is it that what you should do? Are you earning money? You go and pay me to build bus. Go and teach now. That's where that's service calendar. And our society has changed. And no one is talking to them. If you don't, you a professor may not be able to pay your children's school fees. So they have reduced us where we begin to imagine or ask ourselves, are we in the right place? Are we in the right place? Only a few people are in teaching side because they want to teach. Others are there, they will tell you I don't have a job in just managing teaching. Teaching should not be managing. It should actually be people that should be paid first And when you pay them that best, allow them also to do their job. Don't come from outside to tell them, or like we have people go to teacher for correcting a child. All those have destroyed what you are doing. And people respect the sense of trouble. You are like, you clap for him. That kind of fact, the church is starting to think that that is the way. And those are the things that we are reading now. So we want that from the beginning to correct all these things. And every other prof has answered them. Thank you.
Yeah, we also talk about intellectual property, right? Which is very important. You see, the kind of researches we do in our institution are mainly to get, promoted. We don't commercialize our research, and then those ones that are even won, some kind of award, nobody, from the private sector is ready to buy over. There are so many patents, from the university where I come from, University of Port Harcourt. There are so many patents. I can even mention one to go. The woman who actually designed in her project how a pregnant woman can sit on a particular chair and deliver easily. And deliver of the baby easily. Nobody is ready to come, and buy over that patent, and commercialize it. That's the problem we're having. So all the researches we do will just end up in a shelf. So how can we grow? That is the problem, because given the theory of triple helix, there's supposed to be this relationship, between the academia, and the industry. Why government will be there to, regulate? But you find out that people who have money are not ready, to go into something. You see in our practical area, particularly in technical education, people will kind of design and something. Nobody is ready to talk about it. Even if the student present that project and it's finished, that ends it. So that is the kind of society we find ourselves. So we must begin to, as a people and as a government, to put policy in place that will make these businessmen to invest. We are talking about fighting corruption. And when we recover some of the money, it goes through corruption too. Why can't we force anybody who has stolen money to go and build factory in the street? You have stolen money, we know. You have stolen money from government. Fine, hold it. It's your own. Go to and build factory. If you don't build the factory, we'll jail you. And ensure that you build a factory that will utilize, the resources around that thing. Don't you think you're okay? This is one way we can get out of this, quagmire. Instead of, complaining. So my brother, we are doing our work in the university. But the problem is that if we discover anything, in the university and research centers, there are no funds, to actually popularize them and then commercialize them. That's why we're here. And you know that big nations, grow through this area, research and development, right? And so that's why we're here. But we will continue to talk about it and continue to say it. Like I said, strong advocacy, will change some of these things. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Can I next? Right, the next speaker we're having will be from the vice, from the dean of Graduate College, Postgraduate School.
Okawa, please. Okay, the chairman of this occasion, the head of campus, You said I should not mention the location of the campus. Other members of the high table, colleagues, good afternoon, everybody. Professor Benjamin Ogele Ukaba. I'm Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies, Federal University of Turkey. I'm also the president of over 40 million Ijaw people worldwide. I'm a professor of sociology and development. I came prepared to deliver a lead paper. In fact, my document is about 15 pages. And after listening to the the keynote speaker and also the first lead paper, I felt it will amount to a repetition if I go through the same route, through defining what globalization is, what are the economic, socio-economic matrix, history of globalization, the debate, academic debate on globalization, whether it's acceptable or it's not acceptable, issues, what is the Nigerian experience, what is the Niger Delta experience, what are the opportunities, what are the challenges. I think these have been all properly articulated. So I might just make one or two comments by way of further stressing some of the key points that I raised. First and foremost, in very practical terms, globalization as a phenomenon has brought all of us into one village, all is in one community. Much faster, easier, more accessible, to get whatever maybe access to services, access to information as a result of instrumentality of technology. The history of globalization is known right from the beginning. Some internal interconnectivities before industrial revolution, and these are all over the world. So for us as a country, as a people, globalization is like entering into a battlefield unprepared. Because contextually, it's like survival of the we've all gone into a dance, we've all gone into a battle. One man has arrow, another man has AK-45, and we call it a battle. It's not balanced. So at the end of the day, the man, unless he's from my place, where we are stronger than AK-47. For those things, yes. So ordinarily in that kind of situation, you're already defeated before the contest. So Nigeria is not actually ready. I think we are in the area for embracing foreign things that are foreign. So to deal with the issues, in fact, all the recommendations that are made here and all that here and that is that we have to look at what is attitude, what is our aptitude, what is our value system, what are our priorities. Yes, foreign investments, diversification of the economy, fighting security here and there. There are people that are paid, that are elected. They are given the responsibility of providing leadership. There are people that are paid
to work out policies that are pragmatic. The only way we can translate all we have said from rhetoric to praxis and have plausible solution is to rethink our attitude as a people, not just about government, about us. We can start from government. Do we really, truly love this country? As a people, as a professor, as a lecturer. Yes, definitely after now, you'll be going into syndicate sections to discuss various aspects of globalization. What value are you adding to the discourse? And how can you translate those ideas into actions that will work? We are talking about a country that is not working, a country that represents a paradox of plenty, stupendous plenty, and at the other side, you have stupendous poverty. Okay, my friend has rolled out the statistics here and there. Statistics will not help us. What are we doing? How do we, okay, we have a government that's just rent-seeking. What are we helping to? In fact, we are talking about goods and services, and that in most cases, currencies are devalued. Why would they be devalued? Do we even patronize made in Nigerian goods? Innocent Motors is making vehicles, manufacturing vehicles. It started from being a part seller, ingenuity, creativity, and desire to make contributions to Nigeria. How many vehicles produced by Innocent are bought by this university, by government? We have a Senate, we have National Assembly that will import SUVs from abroad, and just imagine the multiplier effect of the fact that government in Nigeria and government vehicles in Nigeria are all produced by that company and other indigenous companies in this country. Just imagine it. You can look at the value chain from marketing, right, from production, from repairs. How many persons will be employed? We don't value what we have. In those days, we have Asaba Texas, we have Canon, where they are all now categorized as hailing industries. Why? Because we failed to respect, to acknowledge, to patronize what belongs to us as a people. Today, the standard for knowing that this guy is civilized in Nigeria is to speak good English. So somebody can speak good English and his own Ikwere dialect, it does not hear. And we proudly say, me, I don't hear Ikwere. And you clap for the person. You are wearing your shoes, where is it made? Said made in London, you clap for the person. In fact, some years past when I was a student in University of Port Harcourt, a young man from Aba came with some rings for selling at the roadside, and he just produced them. I bought them. He said, 5,000. The ladies will just go through. Say 5,000. They walk away. The same young man went back and rebranded and added made in UK. The same ladies came back. He only changed his location, came back, and started picking those things for 30,000. We lack that patriotism as a people. So, if we must stand as a nation, our value systems must change. We must, yes, it's not bad borrowing from from foreign nations, because that's the essence of connectivity. But we should be able to domesticate whatever ideas, whatever knowledge and all that. A governor was asked a governor imported tractors that were made in China. The environment over there and what we have here are two different things. So the tractors worked well in China, but couldn't work in our own environment. Why? Now, what stops this same government from carrying out a study of what our own peculiarities and engineer this into fitting into our environment? Not done. We spoke of the Igbo fire, what have you. Let me tell you one thing. As president of IAC, I know Ijaw people have made reasonable presentation and provided alternative to this book fire listing. It's our technology. The book fire, or what we call distillation of this thing, is our local technology. We have palm trees all over the place. Our villagers, in time past, this ogogoro you see is the same technology applied. You build a camp, right? You tap the palm, put in the drums, and heat up the side and run a road through, and it will come as crude. Then you now refine it again, right? It becomes clean ogogoro. Ogogoro has production of ogogoro. When you call, I don't want to call it illicit gin. It is our local, it's our gin. Whether you call it illicit or not, that is your business. For me, that is our national product, which we must celebrate. That is how we told them. What government needs is to modernize the science. You can also see that as we speak, our boys have started into some technology into it. So the negative impact is not as much as there's still, we'll remove that. Job that we pay 20,000 in office, 30,000 in office, they say no. So if you ask a typical young job boy, say, come in this university, he will ask you, so how much? Say to start 50,000, say no. That I can't take the job. What I earn by is more than that. A professor Zaiki, I had some books imported from Germany, fantastic books. So he went to a school at Amarata, looked at the books and announced, principal come out, and it's now book will go shop. They thought they had cut off some money. So that is where we are as a people. Thoroughly, we have lost our system. We cannot actualize unless we deliberately. In fact, as the Ijaw National Congress is holding a Palm Ijaw. We've done some trials in Lagos, in Abuja, Yanagwa, several places. We want to hold a conference in Port Harcourt weeks from now. What we said, let us now introspect. The era of blaming people, blaming of externalizing our problems, globalization and treaty, who first? Did anybody first? As a society, we need to come back and have self-introspection. What are those things we are not doing right as a people? One of them is that we're embracing foreign values. So when we told 18th century, empires are like Mali, so that developed in Africa were better than the empires in Europe. So why can't we recalibrate and see where we are coming from and take steps towards self-defined technology? Should not be technology. Improve. For every aspect of life, we have something. We have the African pharmacopoeia. We have our herbs. We have our herbs. Working herbs. But the white man used derogatory terms. I said, juju. What is juju? When you are shot, a man will look at you with AK-47 and pump 7 to you. And you see the bullets on the ground and say, juju. Why not? If upset, the first is salvation. The first law is to preserve yourself. That was, it is not juju. It is called self-help. Using what God has given to us. Okay, some of you are talking about when this king of England, you saw that goat. Have you asked the reason for that goat that was escorting him down? Have you asked questions? If it's Africa, you begin to give interpretation. Let me tell you, if you have studied religion, you know that religion is just about peace. Peace with man, peace with God. Every other thing is coloration. Every other thing is coloration. So my own introduction, my own contribution to the conversation is that let us rethink. Let us reevaluate our value system. Those things that we don't need to please others. We don't need to please the world. That our governments are instituted by foreign powers who can take and remove. We must have people who are willing, and we should encourage those persons. We should forget about immediate gratification. Today, we have a government at the national most level because our people are interested in what they will get now. We now have a government, right, that has failed. As people telling that we are still working out, trying to understand the economy after how many years. Look at Trump, just won elections. His impact already felt. His impact is already felt. But we have a government in Nigeria that you have today, it takes 36 months to appoint a minister. Is to tell you that we too are not ready and we need to be picked. So, in conclusion, I want to encourage us to go further beyond just dishing out theories. Let us be practical and be exemplary in our conduct. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for him. The Dean, Postgraduate School, Federal University of Ethiopia, Professor Benjamin Okaba. Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. And right now, we're moving straight to entertainment. Let's invite the
Basically, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a few questions. As a matter of fact, we'll just take a couple of questions so we can actually relieve it. Actually, he's looked at 3 things, if not 4. He talked about attitude, he talked about aptitude, and he talked about value system. As a matter of fact, I can simply describe his presentation as a paradigm shift. He was more pragmatic, more proactive. in his discourse. So what we're going to do now is to also have people ask questions so as to illuminate the discourse. Thank you. Yeah, 1, 2, I think 3. That's 4. That's the last. Just 4 questions.
Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Dr. Benjamin Ikete. My question is going this way. Most times when we sit in conferences or workshops and we look at those we aim to be like, when they talk to us, we tend to believe what they're doing. But sometimes their own action is not actually showing us that where they want us to be. For instance, using Innocent Mutuda to just give an instance. It is also difficult for us to, most of the leaders, like yourself too, drive Innocent Motor. If probably you have driven into this place, it will also be a motivation because what leaders are not doing what us to do, it becomes difficult to go home and tell the man at the village to go and plant farm. When you have money and you refuse to plant farm, you have money, you're wearing made clothes, you're not wearing the best not of help. It should be within the system too. You are a leader, not just an individual leader, you have become a national leader within Nigerian context. Wherever you go, you speak. We should also look at beyond oil. What the German doing? We have too many land. I would think that as a word of suggestion, at the end of next year, 2025, let it also be that the joy is going to harvest fish farm. Some that will motivate us that we should go back to our traditional way of the activities are within the region, and within the region we have states manned by governors. Now, the question is, if federal government is not looking at redefining, using maybe new enabling laws to redefine the refinement process of these co-fire activities. We have, I'm aware, we all aware, we have BRACED Commission encapsulating the 6 states of this Niger Delta. Why have the states not looked at the PIA bill, the loopholes in the PIA bill, to come up with a unified system among the states of the Niger Delta to see how these boys, the technology from these boys can be harnessed, bring the boys together, train them in various ways, and to standardize the operational process of these oil refining activities by our states. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Madhuboch Bosu. So I want to ask this question. Will it be, or will it amount to treasonable felony if I say that globalization is part of the problem, or if I say that globalization has led to what is known as colonialism that we have today, or what is known as modern colonialism, or new colonialism. will it also be out of place if I also say or ask, is Nigeria a conquered nation? Two, will it also be out of place if I should say for Nigeria to be reckoned into the modern global society that we must take dominance and control of our environment? Thank you.
Good day all. I'm Alamo Philip Brown Ago. As good as the concept of globalization is, I want to ask a question. Has it really added value to our culture and use? And if it has, to which extent has it helped us? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Let me take it from the first question. The vehicle you study drive, I'm not the driver. I came with right? Was not but as a lecturer, usually takes by that. Given to me, by virtue of my if I had the opportunity to buy a vehicle for myself, I would have done the same. Okay? So I said that we also give the example. I do several. I will do women, I do a lot of things. Okay, I will say that. The other question is the journal and ability to go back to transform our society. I did mention during the presentation that we are deliberate about it. We are going through protestations, written letters, personally, meetings with presidents of this country. We have ruled out what we want, what are challenges, what are the solutions, and all the solutions, and all that. So it's all the militancy, because at the end of the ripple effect because we try to partake with the new philosophy that let us get into constructive engagement. So the essence of this job conference is to garner job intellectuals. We already have consultants from other foreign countries, and we are saying that let us as a people see what our problems are and how best we can. If we require doing them alone, which is not possible, we should identify partners, collaborate with them. We already have a blueprint with the German government on how to address the issue of flooding. That is perennial. Flooding is not a disaster. It is a management flooding. Flooding has right? So that is ongoing. For now, I will not say much because we are still planning. We've already gotten some results, but like I said earlier, deliberate. And I want every community, every ethnic nationality to look back, come together, and work out strategies yourself. Don't wait for government. Those in government are seeking the next position. Today, the man that is House of Assembly wants to be a commissioner. From there, he wants to be governor. Want to be House of Rep. It's oscillating from one level to the other. Your interest is not there. Nobody is interested in what is happening to you. In fact, if somebody in government,
It's giving you something, you doing that because you want to get something. So the time for us to think, take the book and begin to think for ourselves now. We are doing it, I said, and I'm sure when we do that, we'll get through it. Now, the question of these enabling laws, you should also know that the petroleum resources, which are within the exclusive, if it's exclusive, energy issues, you don't just jump into what is not within the confines of your legislation and begin to work out, because you don't do that. For now, we all know that energy, a bit light, the Tinubu administration has been able to give an act, giving that governors powers and all that to do, and most governors are starting to do something. Then you talk about the Rebrace Commission. The Rebrace Commission is just a geographical expression. Are they even united? Are they even united? I know many problems amongst them. So instead of being committed to the region, committed to the party, they are more committed to the party. They are respective parties. And not the Rebrace Commission for the fund will have gotten inter-regional growth, right? The entire South come together to say, okay, what kind of integrated road network are we building for ourselves? Let us have signature projects instead of doing lighting with what they call the solar lights here and there. Let us have, but if I go deeper, you see that there is replication of projects. Federal government is awarding a contract, same project. NDDCs are working for the same place. Local government is doing that. There's no even to sit together. I remember only recently, a governor, I won't mention his name, was quarreling with the NDDC boss and saying that why will you do this project in my state without anything? A development agent that is before the Niger Delta, there was a big one. Now, why must you? So you can see that because one is of one party and the other is of the other party. So when it comes to a state, is politicized. In fact, only recently too, the NDDC came to a job, said they wanted to renovate, and somebody from government said, no, if they do, the APC, you understand the dynamics. These are some of the issues that actually go beyond what you consider to be practical for them, improving lives of people. It's about how it will count. How it will count. If a project is coming from you to River State and you are not a friend state, they will reject the project. That's how it works. Because produce that project of a different part, right? And you're bringing projects to this town, and the governor of that state is from different parties. The next thing is getting rumor that you are preparing to become governor of the state. The politicization of the process has killed so many things. That's why we're talking about the attitude, change attitude, irrespective of political affiliations, right? People in development should identify and come together. This is what our people need. That is the only way forward. The Rebrace Commission, yes, good intention, but politics has killed it. We made so many efforts, but at the end of the day, because of people who should be in charge, who should be the leader of the region, those are little persons, right? The whether Nigeria is conquered. Is conquered. Is comprehensively conquered. So what is a conquered state? Capture. The population of this country, the economy, for instance, is coming from outside.
To the extent that even when is even the village woman will increase her down and sometimes worse. The dollar is affecting Ghana and we are going to and we begin to understand also because we are all living up to the side effects, right? Living with it and said, yeah, we're not sure of ourselves. God knows what's there. So if you say that we are covered politically, economically, and socially, and that was politically correct. If we've been watching the transition process in this country, over years, any government that is not in this, but for one of us, let's take it aside. If we place all the international basis, because maybe to see we know what it. What are you for this situation? That's clearly had a vision of a mission story of example. Because the corruption is moving important. The corruption is very important. So we say we're very so people can need to deal with the issue at the whole level. So the last question, the question about is yes. If you talk about the area, it's not negatively by the organization that should be conscious. From that community of organization, and started telling us that the God we worship, we are worshiping. Why this is so interpretation of this? Suggesting living system, but look, the interpretation of religious. I made up believe that unless we worship their God, we will not have prosperity. Meanwhile, while the focus God, they are exploiting all resources. So the effect that today you go to your village, you say this is not you don't understand the language, you don't understand the I want to be intelligent. What's the because you look like a white. Even in the eyes of a local people. Is it our we know how to
among the rules, you don't act the man. You don't. You don't act when the man is seated. You don't have legs. You don't cross your legs. Punishment by nature. If a woman in my place dated by another man, she must confess before she delivers. Take her to the hospital. Take her to the hospital. She will confess that it belongs to her and not the man. The biological father was the child. Today, religion has changed. We are all talking about Victorian Guinea. A lot of replication of Victorian. Why women will go shift and come back quietly to the left. Most of us, not of women, are asking whatever they say, God will help us. So our family system, and that's why if you look at all, if you look at all, it's morality. In those ways, the kingdom, yes, too much of them, up to 1999, maybe at the you go and steal in somebody's farm, you go and you bring all the things. Go and bend somebody's farm. You bring all the things. We don't know the intentions. It's our security system. Let us go back. We have traditions. People make traditions. Let us think together. When we diagnose them, if you don't stand for your tradition, if you don't stand for something, you don't have everything. Let us stand for our tradition. If you are a woman, let us imbibe the conscience. If you are something that need to be modified, after all, conscience. So if there's anything that will be posted, I know conscience will be every aspect of technology, even as
Thank you, Professor Benjamin Okaba. Thank you. And now, Chairman, permit me to invite the dancers from the Department of Theatre and Film Resource. Please, a round of applause for them at this point.
Just one more point.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And now for the closing remarks, announcements, vote of thanks. Permit me to invite the Chairman of the Central Planning Committee, Professor Emmanuel B. Okemini. Is he here?
Mr. Chairman, sir, all other protocols really observed. This conference is a combination of an enormous collective effort which began in January 2024, following the appointment of the conference organizing committee by the Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor J.I. Oyema. May I use this opportunity to thank our amiable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nerum S. Okabule, for being very supportive towards the hosting of this the first international conference of the social sciences. Our profound gratitude goes to my lecturer in school, the head of service, Dr. George Mweke. Unfortunately, he abandoned so many things to be with us today. And I thank God will Almighty God will certainly bless him. I equally want to thank the keynote presenter, my very good friend, a very good goalkeeper when I was the captain of a football team. A very good goalkeeper in that. Professor Odojiku Onijuku, the current Vice Chancellor of Ignatius Akere University. My own very good friend and the president of Kenya National Congress, and currently the dean of graduate school, Federal University, Otoke. I just bothered him so much, and he came since yesterday, and he just leaving us now. May God bless him. I really want to thank our Oga who have been directing our faith forward. I'm talking other than the we pray that we may have had some lapses. Forgive us for whatever lapses we might have observed. We promise to do better during our next outing. Talking about our next outing, the Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor J.I. Oyema, has graciously directed that this conference shall be